Good morning, and thanks for attending today. Welcome to the Building 101 presentation. My name is Mike Stallings. I'm the Senior Vice President here at Capital Distribution. And thanks again for coming on today. We're looking forward to a long weekend. I'm sure as many of you are, and thank you for taking the time. And as you know, this is being recorded, so we'll be able to send copies of this out afterwards. And in case you're not able to stay for the entire amount. So if you've signed up, you're going to get a copy of this. So today we're going to talk again about Building 101, our new revolutionary program that we brought through Capital Distribution. And, we did a few webinars on this last week, a few LinkedIn Lives, and we've got some great feedback so far, and those that have come on the program already. And I'm going to explain a lot about it today, but one of the things that came up on one of the LinkedIn Lives last week was, what is Capital Distribution? What do we do, and who are we? And I guess I was kind of called out for not providing enough insight as to who we are and what we do, and how we benefit commercial properties across the country. So for a quick history about Capital Distribution, the company was founded in 2015, and the concept was to bring real life solutions to commercial properties that solve real problems. Myself personally, I came from a background of dealing a lot with commercial properties over 20 years, primarily through plumbing supplies and other aspects of that world, so to speak. So when I came to Capital about 5 years ago, we kind of, brought that concept, or I kind of helped form that concept here, where we were not trying to move or sell products. We were trying to find solutions that actually help people. And what, for the past, I guess 9 years now, Capital has done is trying to find solutions that actually help commercial clients. And Building 101 is kind of bringing all that together, because we're bringing in solutions that commercial properties use on a daily basis, and able to bring that into a family of different partners from across the country, to help kind of reward those who stay within the program. Geez, I'm stumbling. I must already be on vacation here. So we're also going to be introducing one of our newest partners later on today, Mobile Boiler Systems, which we're gonna have Richie come on and talk a little bit about his company there. So just to kind of get into the concept of Building 101 again, and again, we spoke a little bit about this on our previous LinkedIn's, but for those who didn't see them, the concept is very simple. It's one form to fill out. There's zero cost to joining the program, or obligation to use any of the services on there. And it's one solution for your property. And what we mean by one solution is, obviously, if you have a commercial property, whether we're talking about a 20-unit building, or we're talking about a larger 500-unit complex, or 500-unit hotel, or hospital, or senior home, or whatever type of commercial property you have, the concept is that, well, the obvious thing is you probably have a lot of vendors already. And vendors anywhere from plumbers to supply house to electric, pest control, so on and so forth. So we're not asking those who join this program to get rid of your vendors. What this is giving you an option and some flexibility, and relying on our team to help find solutions that make sense for you. And that's what it comes down to, right? This program is very much geared on being a win-win-win for everybody. Obviously, if we don't find solutions that make sense for your property, you're not going to use it. It's just that simple, and there's a lot of ways we do that, which I'm going to go into in a second. But the whole concept of this program is having a concierge team that, from our end anyways, is to have a concierge team that can help identify different solutions that can help your building, whether it's saving you money, or sourcing a product you can't find anywhere else, or providing a solution that can actually solve issues within the building, whether it's water savings, the efficiency of the equipment that you're running, or also extending the life of the equipment that you're running, or making it run more efficient. So there's a lot of concepts to this, and why it's, the fact that it's, again, one form, very easy to sign up for it, zero cost or obligation, And the fact that we're bringing a multitude of partners into this concept as a solution for your location really is the concept of the whole Building 101 here. So again, just to kind of sum up what I just said, I kind of strayed off there a little bit, but basically the way it works is, you sign up for free. There's no obligation. There's no commitment. You're not required to spend any money or a certain amount of money. Anytime you utilize any of the solutions within our family of partners, you're going to be rewarded, whether it's through discounts or for different perks. But also, every time you use a solution, you're going to get credits back. And these credits can be used on the same solution or on other solutions within the family. You're not restricted in that way. So to give you an example, if you utilize a restoration company, let's say, and you get a credit back, you could take that credit and utilize that with a plumber or with a supply house or with a, we have a marketing partner on board as well. So there's a lot of different partners we have. So you're not restricted in any way. The credits don't expire. It's not like you have to use them within 6 months or a year. You have a lot of flexibility there. So it gives you peace of mind knowing that, if you join this program, there's no cost to join it. There's no obligation. It's just giving you what it will entitle you to is your own personal concierge team. Now we have a team, and this is through the capital side. We have a team that actually, once you sign up, they'll introduce themselves to you. They're going to find out a little bit about your building, try to understand what, how it ticks, what you need, what you utilize. Do you have any issues right now that you need addressed? And their job is basically to find reasons for you to utilize Building 101 that makes sense to you. Again, it could be a pricing issue. It could be a service issue. It could be getting a product quicker, or it could be just identifying a problem you have within your building itself and trying to solve it for you. And that's what their job is really. It's just to solve problems for you. And again, you're getting this at no cost because you don't have to, again, you're not required to use any service. You're not paying these concierge people. We are, and their job is to work with you and find out what within your building needs addressing or enhancing even. You could be doing very well with certain things, but maybe there's a way to make it even more efficient or better. The other part of this concept or part of this program is, depending on the area you're in and what type of property you have, you also can qualify for, Paul Davis has a first priority program. And again, depending on your building and where you're located, if it's available or not, what that program does for you is, again, it's another program you join for free. To sign up for that, it's just another one-page form, and it doesn't commit you to Paul Davis or anything along those lines, but it kind of opens up a lot of doors, because one of the things and property managers, I'm sure, are thinking about this or have thought about this in the past is, if you do have a disaster, whether it's a fire, whether it's a leak on the property, whatever it is, you need somebody to come out there quickly. And being on the first priority program, and you can, within the partner page on our website, you'll be able to see a breakdown of this as well, is basically Paul Davis guarantees they're going to be there to you within 2 hours. And that's one of the most important parts of any restoration job, is that, how fast can I get somebody out here? And I know from experience talking to the different commercial properties back, one of the things, when Sandy hit in this area, we're based in New Jersey, and, Sandy was a pretty devastating storm for us, because, it's not something we saw every day. And it really, there was quite a bit of damage. And one of the things was that, properties were trying to call different vendors for restoration, and they were told, oh, we'll see you next, we can get out to you next week, or we can get out to you the following week, or in 3 days, or in 2 days even. Being on the Paul Davis VIP first priority program is, they guarantee that they will call you first before calling any other non-first priority member. And that's very important too. And again, 2 to 4 hour lead time is, in case of a natural disaster. But, the real key is that somebody's going to come out there, and by joining that program, and again, no cost to that either, you have that peace of mind that if you do need them, and again, you're not required to use them, but if you do need them, you can give them a call, and they're going to be out there in a few hours. And moving on to the other part of this, that we have our own partner page that's just we're just rolling out this week as well. That's going to list all the different solutions for you and the credits that you're entitled to if you utilize that service. So, and I'll show you that page shortly here as well. Process to join, again, very simple. One form with your information, and I'll show you a picture of that in a second also. Once you join, we assign you a concierge specialist that can basically is going to work with you and try to learn a little bit about the property. You get access to the client page, which lists all the solutions I just mentioned. Anytime you utilize the solutions within the family of partners we have, and you just utilize promo code Building 101, that it makes sure that you get your credit and the discounts that come with that. And anytime you utilize one of the services, you provide a copy of the invoice, and then we provide the credits back to you. It's just really that simple. These are some of the partners, and we're, if any of you were on our previous LinkedIn lives, we certainly have added to this list. Again, Mobile Boiler Systems is coming on today. We're going to introduce them shortly. Some of the other partners, just to quickly touch on them, we have a marketing partner, Customized Marketing Solutions. Murado is they do custom kitchen setups, kitchen suites. Also, they do cabinets, they do windows, they do doors. Very high-end stuff, but not at a high-end price. ProPump is one of our other vendors. They do quite a bit of, they can do custom design pump systems for you, but they also have a repair division and also pit cleaning, a lot of different services. They're primarily, for the cleanings and things like that, they're based in the 5 boroughs pretty much for New York City. But they also, any type of, whether they're talking about a cooling tower pump or a booster pump, they custom design pumps, and your concierge person actually works with you on that to help you identify that. SuppliesDepot.com is our supply house partner. A couple ways you can utilize them. One, you go right to the website and use Building 101 as a promo code, and you can get the credits from that. But also, one of the things our concierge people like to do when they talk to new members of Building 101 is, they'll actually do the research for you. If you have a list of products that you utilize quite frequently, say every month, you send them a list, they'll actually research, and they can actually get you a preferred quote from Supplies Depot. So basically, what I was kind of getting at there with Supplies Depot, you can utilize you can pay by credit card and just go to the website, or you can actually we can get you set up with an account with them where you get billed and get terms as well. But, especially on the bulk quotes, there's some heavy discounts in there. And if you work with your concierge person, once you join the program, they're able to actually try to fight and get you the best possible deal on items you use every day anyway. And you know what? At the end of the day, if they can't save you money or if they can't get you the product quick enough, you just use your current vendor. But it's another set of eyes and can really help save you some money as you go forward. Done Right Solutions is our commercial kitchen partner. So if you're looking for anything, especially coolers, meaning like your stand-up coolers for I know a lot of buildings have that. They have like a separate room with snacks and refrigeration items, maybe sandwiches and stuff like that. Those coolers Done Right can provide, and also a lot of commercial appliances are part of that. Trio Capital is our finance partner. So anytime you're making even a reasonable, I think it's $3,000, even $3,000 in supplies or more, or any of these other services that you need to finance, they can do that. But on top of that, also by utilizing, through this program, you're entitled to a couple special deals, including one where you get 90 days of no payments. There's also a 6 month of $33 only payments. And also we even have a 0% financing package for certain solutions as well. So you're entitled to getting all that. Przanski Plumbing is our plumbing partner here in New Jersey. They handle pretty much all throughout of New Jersey, primarily focused on commercial buildings. They do a lot of buildings in Hoboken and Jersey City and a few of those areas there. Ranshaw Plumbing is our partner. They handle primarily Queens, but also can go to some of the other boroughs depending on the job. And again, today we're going to be introducing Mobile Boiler Systems here in a few minutes, and that's another one of our partners. And this is the form I just wanted you to see. Again, very straightforward. And you could see it's not, and by the way, one of the things that, came up on one of the other calls as well was, we're not looking to capture email addresses or anything like that. A lot of this, almost all of this is very public information anyway. So we're not looking to spam you. We're not looking to send you countless things. The only thing you're going to get from us is you're going to get reached out to by our concierge person. They just want to touch base with you, see what works for you, how they can best help you. And the only other thing you're going to get is a monthly newsletter from us. And on that newsletter, I'm going to talk in a minute about, the monthly, the month, every month, one of our partners is going to run a promotion, and we'll be able to, that will be in the newsletter. It's going to basically come on a monthly basis. And it's just going to list any new partners that have come on. So that, again, that could always be of interest to you, but also whatever the monthly promotion is. This month we're running a pretty solid one for Capital. That's the only time you're going to get an email. Or you may, if your concierge person finds something that might be of interest to you, they might send you a quick email, but it's not going to be like a spam where you're getting 2 or 3 emails a week with this and that. Monthly newsletter, and just when your concierge rep has to reach out to you, and they can reach out by email, they might give you a call. But again, when you have that first introductory call, you kind of set the guidelines of how you want them to work for you, and they're happy to do, follow, at your pace. We know we're all busy. The last thing we want is more emails and more phone calls, but basically you can work that out with the concierge person on that initial call. This is just a quick screenshot of what the member page is going to look like. What you're going to see here, and this is just SmartValve, which we're going to talk about in a second here. But basically on the page, you're going to see a list of you'll see the vendor partner. There'll be a quick clip there that you can click on that's going to show the, basically just a 1-minute video introduction of that partner. But it's also going to list what you're entitled to in terms of perks, in terms of discounts, in terms of the credits back that you're entitled to if you do end up using that partner. And again, just to sum up what I was talking about, and then I'm going to play a quick video here for you in a second as well. But to sum up, the concept of Building 101 is just the peace of mind and the flexibility. The ability, we all know that you have vendors for your property already. This is not about replacing your current vendors or anything like that. But, coming from the business for many, many years, I know even if you have a very large company, say for plumbing supplies, there's going to be times when, number one, they may not have something in stock and you need to find that product. You might need it today. By the way, our supply house is actually based in New Jersey. So it's also, even if you needed to go pick it up, you could do that. But you're going to get something the next day from them because they ship any order that comes in before 5 o'clock, they ship it the same day. And going from New Jersey to New Jersey, I would like to think it would come the next day to you. Other part of this is, once our concierge team finds solutions that make sense for you, whether it's a pricing issue or if it's a solution to a problem in your building or it's a sourcing issue, you're going to get rewarded every single time you utilize one of the partners within Building 101. As I mentioned, we do have special financing programs as well. The credits that you bank, you can utilize for the same service or other services as needed. Your concierge support is there as a perk for joining the program. They're going to do all the legwork for you in terms of evaluating these different solutions. Also, one of the other concepts is, obviously we want to grow this program. So if you're a property manager or owner and you have multiple locations, you're going to be rewarded for other locations signing up. And also, if you refer any other commercial properties to us, we're going to reward you with a bonus credit for doing so as well. So that's all part of this. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the monthly newsletter, which is just going to kind of keep you in the know of what's going on. Have there been any changes in terms of adding new additional partners, or in some cases, there might be an additional credit for a month or two from a different partner or a different perk. All that's, again, it's a monthly newsletter. It's going to come out. It's just every month, and it's going to kind of keep you in the know of what's going on in Building 101. So I'm going to go into the specials here in a second. And what I want to do first is we announced this on the last call, but what we're doing is we're running a special on our SmartValve solution. And for those of you that don't know, it's a device that's installed on the user side of the meter. And just to give you a quick picture of it, let me show you the other one first. This is just an example of it. It's installed on the user side of the meter. And what it does is it saves you 15 to 25% on your water and sewer costs on average. So typically 20%. And how it accomplishes this is it maintains the pressure at the meter. So that way you don't get the drop in pressure, the meter doesn't overspin. And what it's doing is correcting a mistake that the meter makes. which is it doesn't distinguish between water and air. It only counts volume. So when you have a drop in pressure at the meter, pockets of air are going to expand. They're going to register on the meter. They're going to count as volume. Also, when you get a big drop or you get a high demand and you get that pressure drop, the meter can overspin as a result of the chaos that ensues from that drop in pressure. And what the smart valve does is it maintains the incoming pressure from the street at the meter, kind of acts like a toll booth, makes sure that the pressure coming in from the street remains about the same as the water passes through the meter. And by correcting that mistake, you're saving, again, between 15 to 25% on most cases, and those that don't fall in that range typically save more. We've seen as high as 50% in some rare cases. Again, that's not normal. I don't want everybody to think that they're going to save half their water and sewer bill by installing this device. But the other big factor with this is that you're enabling, the return on investment is very fast. Typically, it's less than a year for commercial properties. So I wanted to kind of point that out. And the other factor with this that's very important is that it's externally adjustable. So number one, it allows us to fine tune and customize your result and to get you the best result, because every building is different. There's a lot of different possibilities with that. Every building doesn't have the same. There's so many dynamics that go into a building. So this little adjustment here, which is external, which means you can also adjust it after post install, is very important in terms of customizing and making sure you get the best result possible. It also is very important because you're putting something in your building. What happens if conditions change? What happens, God forbid, there's a water main break up the street? Well, let's to give you an example. Let's say you get the smart valve and the pressure is 70 coming into the property, and all of a sudden there's a water main break and the pressure drops to 20. Well, you want to get your tenants some pressure and some flow to their apartments, and 20 is not really going to do very much, but at least it gives them something. You're actually able to shut the smart valve off completely without removing it, without shutting the water off. You can just turn this little dial here. It's basically just an Allen key, and turn that dial, and you're able to reduce this down and make sure that your tenants have some pressure to their location. Just one second here. We're just trying to. Richie is trying to get on. One second here. I'm going to play a quick video here on the smart.
This is Jeff Chalfin of Flow Dynamics. In 2019, Texas A&M University conducted an independent engineering study on the smart valve. Following is some of the raw video they provided us of the testing they performed. We have not edited any of the video other than to speed up parts of it so you can spend a little less time having to watch it. Thanks for watching. This is video of the visual bubble test, or the air bubble test. This test was performed to intentionally inject large volume of air into the line and use clear plastic pipe to the point where we could see the volume of air visibly, and then see how the meter measures that volume of both air and water, and then compare that against the same going through the smart valve, and to hopefully see that both visually and in measurement that the measurement is reduced by the smart valve. So here you can see they have an air inlet valve where they're going to use that to inject that extra air into the line. So they just open that. We see the meter is spinning, and they're starting this on the control side with no smart valve, and as you can see there is visible amount of air going through the line. And we're looking at the flow rate on this test, and we see it's measuring about 7.4 gallons per minute. And the reason we're looking at that is because all the other conditions are the same. They're keeping the flow the same, the pressure the same. So we just want to see the difference in measured flow rate. So now they're going to switch this over to the smart valve side. And once again, they're going to start the test. Open the air valve. Again, you can see the meter spinning. as you can see, their air volume has been eliminated in the pipe visually. And we now see a measured flow rate of about 5.9 gallons per minute. So comparing the before and after, we see a reduction of approximately 22% in the measurement under the conditions they created. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so that was just a quick summary on the smart valve and a quick video because we had been asked about that as well. As one of the questions that actually came up was, how does this work, and do you have any proof of concept? And that's just one of many videos. We have multiple videos we can show on that as well, but that was just a quick overview so you can kind of see it in real time and how it works. It's been around for about 10 years now, the technology. This is now version 3. So it's certainly something to consider, especially when joining this program. And to go back to what I was mentioning before, we're running a special on the smart valve for this month, where if you want to purchase a smart valve and you're on the Building 101 program, you're going to get a 7% discount and also get a 10% credit back. We also, the big concept here as well is that you can combine. We have a monitoring service that actually will show you real life or real time results of the smart valve working, as well as functioning as a leak detections, early warning system, so to speak. This month only, you can combine both the monitoring and the smart valve on the sizes 3 inches and above and get that monitoring service for free. Plus, you'll get a 12% credit back as well for any size 3 inch and above, which is a huge. I mean, that's we normally sell the monitoring service for about $1,200, and you're getting that for free with any smart valve for this month. Plus, you get a year's worth of monitoring for free. If you have a smaller size than that, and you want to combine that with the smart valve, you get a 10% discount on both items and a 12% credit. So if you have a 2 inch or smaller size, you can get a very large discount and a big credit back. If it's 3 inch or above, you actually get the monitoring for free and get the same 12% credit. Also, if you can utilize our finance partner again. One of the big factors is, we hear this all the time with commercial properties is, well, of course I want to save money on my water and sewer, but we don't have it in the budget to do it. So we've kind of solved that, where you can either get a 90-day no payment finance or 6 months of $33 a month payments and no additional charge for that. So what really happens is, not only can you finance the material when we're talking about the smart valve and or the monitoring, but in many cases you can finance most of the labor that goes into that as well. So you could start saving 20% on your water and sewer bill every single month, and you're not shelling out a dime. So we're almost paying you to put it in. And that's also, the other side of this also is that we have the 0% financing under a separate program. So that's running through at least till the end of July. That's our perk for the month. And from there, I want to introduce Richie from Mobile Boiler Systems. Hey, Richie, how's it going? Can you hear us okay?
How you doing, guys? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you good. I'm going to give you the stage, and I've got a few slides here, but Richie's going to talk about Mobile Boiler Systems, and stage is yours, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. So, all right, MBS, Mobile Boiler Systems, what is it? It's pretty interesting concept. There's not a lot of players in the game. We are one of, without a doubt, less than 10 other companies in the tri-state area that probably offer this service. It's a boiler room in a container box, basically. And when do you have a need for that? If you're apartment building, we're talking large buildings, I would say. I mean, these got to be probably 40 family and larger before it to make financial sense. Your boiler goes down, it's not going to be a quick swap on a building that big. What do? You call us, and we have a mobile boiler. It's basically a boiler room in a 40 Yeah, there it is, a 40-foot shipping container. It's got a boiler. It's got an 800-gallon number 2 fuel oil tank on board. All the controls, components, boiler feed tank, everything, mixing valve. And we basically park this in front of your building, and we connect it to your existing heating system. We use different hoses. We go into your boiler room, tie into your existing heating system piping, and you now have a unit that's going to provide heat and or hot water to your building. Okay. Mostly we're talking, big apartment buildings. Something small doesn't make sense because you can turn around a boiler job, a replacement probably in a few days at, worst case scenario. But we're talking big buildings that, may take 3-4 weeks to get this equipment replaced or more. Could be a situation in New York City where your gas gets turned off. Okay. And those are not timely repairs. Buildings get Con Ed, utility, or National Grid shuts the gas off. These things can happen, and gas could be off for months. Okay. And what do you do in a building like this in the middle of the winter or even the summer for hot water? You got to make a temporary solution, and we have that temporary solution. Okay. We've done some interesting stuff, not just for schools, apartment buildings, and things of that nature. We've done some pretty cool stuff. We've had them at concrete plants where their boilers went down because they had to heat the water to mix the concrete, bring that up to a certain temperature. We've put them there in industrial concrete plants. We've done some interesting stuff with movie shoots where we had to heat big pools of water where they were filming movies and TV shows, and the actors, had to swim in warm water. We did a commercial in Times Square where we heated a temporary pool for, I think it was Polaroid. And that was a TV commercial that was shot. So, I mean, it's for any temporary heating or hot water needs. Basically, it's more than often than not, it's for big, residential apartment buildings. We've done a couple of high-rise buildings, multi-story buildings. But it's pretty interesting. Mike, do you have any pictures of inside the trailer? That had some on the website. This is where we had them. We've had them at schools, apartment buildings, churches, all different.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull one up real quick, but just continue. I'll take a look and see if I can quickly pull one up for everyone. Let me just go ahead.
So we have, we don't have an infinite amount of these trailers because they're different sizes for different applications. So the smallest we have is a 70 horsepower, which is probably 2.5 million BTUs on the small end. And we go up to the biggest ones we have are 350 horsepower, which is probably 12 million BTUs. So that's the range. So it's not, one size fits all. We got to put the right piece of equipment in the right application. So we currently have 8 of these trailers built and, either deployed or in-house ready to go. 6 of them are 40-foot container boxes. We did build 2 of the smaller ones, the 70 horsepower boilers. We were actually able to cram into a 20-foot container box, which has been very, very useful in situations, especially in Manhattan where there's space constraints and all. And but so we can only do that on the smaller ones though, not the bigger ones. So basically what we do is we will deliver this to your site. We will connect it. If you're in New York City, we will pull the permits with the building department. We will pull the permits with the Department of Transportation to put the trailer on the street legally. And we will make the connections. And naturally, when we finish the job, we'll disconnect and remove the trailer. And then as far as the rental goes, these trailers are usually a minimum 4-week rental. So if we do have to deploy one of these, it's a 4-week rental, and then it's a weekly rental after that. We go pretty much week to week. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. They are number 2 fuel oil boilers that are inside, which has the tank inside it. There we go. Mm-hmm. This is a boiler room basically on wheels. And they're very the way we situated these boilers. Some of the other companies have the boilers facing the other way towards the back end of the trailer. We faced it towards the front, so you have a working space where you got the burner, you got all your controls, if your condensate tank, and your oil tank is right behind the photographer in this picture. So everything is in arm's reach for serviceability in the trailer. So they're pretty impressive pieces of equipment, and that's pretty much the gist of it. I'll take any questions if anybody has any questions about the equipment or the process or anything.
Yeah, the only question that came through, I think you answered, was, you know, where your service area was, which I think you said was tri-state pretty much, or primarily New York City.
Well, right now, okay, we're doing the 5 boroughs in New York City, Nassau and Suffolk County and Westchester County. That's pretty much the service area that we're putting these mobile boilers in.
I'm just curious from my standpoint here too. So all this is tied into the building. Obviously, the actual concept of the heat or hot water, and the power just hooks up to the building. That's the whole concept. Everything is just tied right into the building from the street, basically.
Correct. So the trailer, we run the electric cabling into the building, tie into the building's electric panel. We run a water line out from the building to feed the boiler. That's all done with pretty much hoses, no hard pipe. The boiler has an exhaust on top of the trailer that just, vents off the top of the mobile boiler unit. But yeah, we're tying into the building, water and electric, and, into that heating system in the boiler room. So we'll cut in and, weld in, whatever we got to do, tappings, however we got to do it. Typically these installs, if it's a hot water installation, that's usually a 1-day setup. If it's a heat and hot water installation, could be a 2-day setup, depending on the complexity of the, boiler room and what we're doing. But it's no more than a 2-day setup to get this thing in place, connected, fired up, and running.
That's amazing. And I think you answered the other question. That there was a question about who's responsible for permits and costs with that.
So
that's all included.
That can usually, but the way we handle it, if it's in New York City, we are licensed to pull all the permits required to run this unit. Okay, I have rented these units to mechanical contractors, and they told me, just rent me the trailer. I will pull all the permits, because they may have the licenses to do so as well. So that's something that we work out with the end user, depending on how they want to structure the lease agreement. But more often than not, we're supplying and pulling all the permits in New York City. Once we go out of the New York City area, then permitting is on the lessee, okay? Because we're licensed for the 5 boroughs to only. And a lot of times when you get out of the 5 boroughs, there really is no permits required to put these in place. So if there is, it might just be like a local fire department permit, or it could be a building department permit, but that's usually the lessee will handle that. That's on them.
So here's an interesting question for you. It just came in.
Sure.
And, we actually haven't talked about this. So I don't know where this plumber is from, but he's asking, would you rent it to him if he's out of state somewhere? Meaning the actual unit. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
I've had them out of state before. Now, they were kind of in striking distance. They were close. Okay, so I was able to service them when I rented them. It depends on, we've talked about selling these, building them and selling them to contractors out of state. So that depends on how far you are. If it's something if you're in the tri-state area, and that's something that we can figure out.
He's in Virginia. He just said, actually.
Virginia. That would probably be a sale, not a rental.
Okay, but you can actually sell these too. You can build them.
We can absolutely sell them. I mean, if we were approached to construct these trailers, and if someone wanted to buy one, we're capable of doing that.
What's the lead time on that? Just I'm curious now. What's the lead time to actually build one?
Well, that's a loaded question because it depends. It's a couple things that we gotta do. We gotta secure a container box. Okay. The equipment, there's a lot of, we're still facing COVID equipment and material shortages. Typically, the fastest I've turned the trailer around because I had the container already in my position, I had some spares, was 3 months.
Okay.
So
it's certainly a process.
I would say, it's probably a 3 month is a fair. You want to say 3 months is a fair estimation. 3 to 5 months, maybe in a worst case scenario. But it might be shorter because we had to get these things inspected by New York City Department of Buildings, New York City Fire Department. So that delays a lot of the process. If I'm just building these to ship out, we could probably do it in less time.
Yeah, I was going to say, because as those of us that live in the area know, New York City is probably one of the most restrictive places in terms of permits and codes and so on and so forth. And you and I have both have experienced this many times over our careers. So, I would think, somebody in most other locations that wanted to, is this something where, a plumber could basically expand their business by purchasing one of these from you? Thinking outside the box here, and because there's a lot of commercial properties across the country that could benefit from this.
These mobile boiler business is great when you have a place to put them. When you don't have a place to put them, you got to realize that you got to have real estate to store them. So I've spoken to a lot of people that were kicking around the idea of going into the mobile boiler business, and then they realize that there's a lot of things tied to it. I mean, you got to store them somewhere when they're not rented. Okay. You got to winterize them. Okay. You got to service, you got to maintain them. A lot of times they come back from jobs and, they're graffitied on. There's a lot of things that we're required to do. We got to do annual boiler in New York City. We got to do annual inspections on them. So they have to be kept up. If you can't rent them, it probably doesn't make financial sense. If you're just going to build one of these to keep it on the what if I come across it, probably doesn't make sense because there's a lot of costs involved to operating and maintaining these.
I think it's a great concept, and I think you said the minimum was about a 40 unit complex. Would make sense for, because I assume there's a smaller one than this.
40 units, you could probably go smaller. But then, when you get to the smaller buildings, a lot of times their issues can be corrected, maybe faster or more cheaper than what the cost to mobilize one of these units up to the building is. Like I've had people call me and they had a 12 unit or a 16 unit building. I said, I could put one of these trailers in front of your building, one of the small ones, lock it in low fire, but I'm sure you could probably get the boiler turned around in a week.
Right.
By the time I get this thing mobilized, all my permits in place, and we get this thing on site, it probably doesn't make sense, So
yeah, and just for my peace of mind too, just to know, so this is probably the biggest container that you guys would use for this.
Yeah,
is there
40 foot? So 6 of my trailers look like that, 40 feet, and then I got 2 20-foot ones, which is half the size.
Right. Okay. So that's where I was curious, because I figured they all weren't that big. Some of these have to be,
and they got to be moved. When you got to move them, they got to be in a tow truck to transport them. So, there's a lot involved with the business.
Sure. Okay. Well, if there's I don't see any other questions on here. Anything else you want to finish up with before we move on to? I'm basically going to end the presentation here afterwards. So, but any other questions or any other comments you have, Richie, before we get ready for 4th of July? Because God knows I'm waiting for it.
I know we always get that lull around this time of year. So after 4th of July, things start coming alive again. So we'll see. Hopefully, everybody enjoys their weekend, and looking forward to working with.
Yeah, guys, and thanks everyone for coming on again today. I know we're all getting ready for a vacation, and I don't see any other questions here. I think we covered everything. Our inside sales team, the email address is there. Richie is one of Richie has multiple businesses on our Building 101 program. And, make sure you reach out to us, get signed up. Again, let me just show you the quick sign up form real quick, how easy it is. It's a simple little form just to fill out. Fill it out. We'll have our concierge people reach out to you and, utilize Richie for both Branshaw and for the mobile boilers. And that's it, everybody. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to let everybody run. Thanks again, Richie, for coming on and explaining the concept. That's really interesting, and I think a lot of our clients are going to benefit from that. And everybody have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you all next week. And enjoy, be safe this weekend, have fun. And Richie, I'll talk to you soon too, okay?
Got it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.